You're gonna need 2 strings of lanyard. I'm using 2 that contrast really well from each other because you can see it better. They need to be the same length, and I don't know, they can be as long as you want though. So you're gonna start off, I'm gonna start off with black. And you're going to fold it. You're going to put the ends together. And when you see this loop, this is the half of the string. You're gonna put it on your finger. You're gonna pull it back down a little bit. Then you're gonna wrap it around. So the bottoms will be like roughly the same length. It'll be roughly the same much hanging down. You're gonna take your other string. You're gonna stick it through these loops. You're gonna fold this string in half. So it should look like this. You should get something like this. Then you're gonna take the left strand. And you're going to stretch it out. Well, not stretch it, but pull it. And go over this loop and under this loop. And make sure that it's not twisted either, because that'll really screw you up. So it's gonna look like a C. You're gonna take the other strand, and you're gonna do the exact same thing. Over this one, under this one. So you should get something like this, and your box is already pretty much done. And so you're gonna pull it off your finger, and you're gonna tighten the strands. It's okay if it sort of curls in like that. It'll come out once you tighten it correctly. So you should get something like this. My fingers look really clapped, sorry about that. And so now you're going to do your stitches. So whenever you're doing lanyards, you sort of want your hands to be rough because this is plastic string. So it's sort of smooth. And when your fingers are more rough, you'll get a better grip on the strands. So you're going to take this top strand and fold it over. You're going to take this bottom strand and fold it over. And you're going to do the same thing that you did on your finger. You take this strand, make sure it's not twisted because that really screws you up. Go over this loop and under this one. You're going to do the same thing over here. Whichever strand you encounter first, that's the one you go over. So over this one, under this one. So it's the same stitch, but the strands are falling in opposite directions. So I'm going to show you again. Fold these strands over. Make sure this strand isn't twisted. Over, then under. Over, then under. You're gonna pull the strands through. This isn't hair, by the way. I use this just to draw and stuff. So that's why it's sort of covered in colored swatches and stuff. And there's lines everywhere. And it's slowly starting to grow. The tighter you do your stitches, the more stitches you can make, because you're taking up less room on the strands. So I'm going to show you this one more time. Over, under, over, under. And pull the strands tight. And And so you're going to keep doing this until you get the length that you want. My strands are actually sort of small. They're sort of short. And it's okay if they're not even. See, look, this black one is longer than these. All three of these. So yeah, all of these are shorter. This one's longer. It doesn't really matter because you're not going to use every single bit. You're not going to get to the end. So you just want to keep doing stitches. I'm just going to be silent when I do these because there's not really much to show you. But if you're still confused, this is the easiest one you can do. The easiest lanyard. I'll show you one more time. So put the loops over, the strands over to make loops. Make sure your other strands aren't twisted. Over the first one you encounter, under the second one you encounter. Same here. Over this one, under this one. And you're going to pull that through. And you're going to pull these strands until they're tight. I've seen a lot of people go like this to tighten it, but look, this is still pretty loose and they just keep going like that. So just pull up, down, like this. I'll show you another stitch that is zoomed out so you know how to tighten it. Over, under, over, under. Okay, so you should get something like this. People pull the strands like this, but it's not very effective and it doesn't look right. So up, down, up, down, up, down. You see the stitches are tighter. If one stitch is looser than all the other stitches, one of these loops will be bigger. And you don't really want that because then it looks uneven, unless you like that kind of look. But anyways, I'm going to finish the rest of these stitches. This is a small lanyard, so it shouldn't take that much time. And I'm going to be overall pretty silent. See, look. See how this is twisted? Oh, never mind. I don't know, it sort of looks twisted. It's not really much to say. It's a very simple process. But this can eventually hurt your fingers. I've been doing lanyards for like 3 days straight, and now when I bend my fingers like this, it sort of hurts. The stitch sort of looks a little loose, but then I checked all the loops. This one looks a little bigger, so I'm just going to pull it a little more. Alright, so I'm going to do 3 more stitches, and I'm going to show you how to close it off. There are many ways you can do it, but I like to do it this certain way. called the American way, but I don't know. It's a way to close it off. That's all that matters. To make it tight. Keep going out of frame, my bad. You just need a little bit of space to tighten it because you're moving your hands a lot. And 3. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to tie it off. This lanyard is quite short, but this is just an example. So what you're going to do, if you want to cross it off the American way, this is how you're going to do it. So you're going to make sure this is tight. This is your last stitch. And so you're going to make one more stitch. We're going to do something quite different. For this stitch, don't tighten it. You can tighten it a little, but don't complete the stitch. So you're going to make sure your lanyard looks like this first. So you're going to take this strand and you're going to bend it like this. Make sure it's not twisted. And you're going to pull it around. And you're going to push through in the middle. And make sure it's between these peach loops. These can be a different color for you, but in my case it's peach. And you're going to pull it up and through the center. And you're going to do this with every other strand too. So pull this around and pull it through the center. It looks pretty crazy, but it is effective. And last one. Just around, make sure it's not twisted though. Twisted, but don't twist it. And you're going to pull it, push or pull, doesn't matter, through the center. So you should get something that sort of looks pretty crazy like this. Sort of looks cool though. Then you're going to take these strands in the middle and pull them. You're going to push the knot that you made at the bottom of the lanyard down. You can pull these one at a time if one end is loose, or if one side of the knot is loose. I don't know. Most of the time I try this, it works, but sometimes it doesn't. I want to make sure it's sort of on the rim of the end of the lanyard. We're going to pull it super tight. There we go. It's going to take you a little bit. You just need a little bit of pressure. Just pull on it to get something like this. There we go. So now you pull this, it's not going to come apart unless you pull too hard. So now you can choose to leave the song. Sort of looks a little funny, but I'm going to cut it. Take your scissors. And snip. I like to cut it at an angle. I don't know, I just think it looks nice. And that's it. And you can put it, you can grab this loop at the top, this black loop right here, clip it on to one of these, or clip these onto here, my bad. And then you can take this and put it on a key ring. So you have a lanyard on your keychain. So you can have something that looks like this.